Hey guys, Bladerz here, and yes, I am finally back. There's just been some complications that have gone on over the summer. Long story short, I did not have access to a computer, which is how I do pretty much all of my videos for you guys. But I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video. For that, I will make a separate video, because I've had a lot of time to think over the summer and have come up with quite a few new ideas for the channel. So I'm going to create a video later this week, not only explaining the circumstances that made it to where I couldn't make videos for you guys, but also kind of go over with you some of the new ideas I've come up with. For one, many of you may have already noticed a new look to the channel, this new background. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Anyway, not important. So, anyway, again, that's all saved for a different video. For today, I'm back with another top 10 list. This is one I've had in my mind for the last few weeks of summer, and I've been really looking forward to doing. This is the top 10 best looking bays. So these bays are the 10 bays that I think have the best designs. They look the neatest, they look the coolest, they have the most intricate, they just look cool. As usual, before we start, this video is my opinion and should not be taken as fact. I am only doing this for fun. I am only using original stock combos, meaning no recolors and no custom combos. Custom combos isn't really a big part of this, but recolors is. Because there may be some recolors that look really nice, but I am not using those. Also, I will link you to the playlist of all of my top 10s at the end of the video. And one more thing. So this list wasn't easy to make, because I can't really rank the bays based on what I think is the best looking. That's really difficult for me. So, to kind of help me out, I based the results on their performance. So I picked the 10 bays that look the best, and then ranked them based on their performance, rather than their looks. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Number 10. At number 10, we have Arc Bahamut 2-Bump Atomic. Now, if it were up to me, I mean it kind of is, but you know what I mean. If it were up to me, this would be much higher on the list. But Arc Bahamut is a pretty good bay, but it's just the teeth. The teeth just kill it. So, it's a left spin defense type. It has a really good defense layer, again, other than the teeth. Even though... Anyway, and it has Atomic, one of the best drivers in the game. But, as I said earlier, it is easy to burst, its gimmick doesn't really do anything, and you can only get it in the God Customized set. I really like Arc Bahamut. I really want it. I still haven't gotten it. But unfortunately, its playability puts it this low or high at this place on the list. Number 9. At number 9, I have Shelter Regulus 5-star Tower. The only reason that this bay is slightly higher than Arc Bahamut is because its teeth are slightly better. Slightly. It's a little bit more resistant to bursting. But personally, if this were based on looks only, Shelter Regulus would be number 1. I love the color, I love the design, it's just... It is a very beautiful bay. But, based on its performance, it has to go here. It's got a really neat height change gimmick, and the layer gimmick is really cool. It's just, again, the teeth kill it. If it had better teeth, it would most definitely be much higher on the list. Also, this bay is exclusive to Random Booster Volume 8. Number 8. At number 8, we have Bloody Longinus 13 Jolt, a bay that I recently got. I wanted to do an unboxing video, but again, I did not have a computer, and I was going to use my phone, but of course it was dead. And I'm not a patient person, so I just went ahead and opened it. Anyway, Bloody Longinus is up this high mainly because of its stamina. And the fact that it's incredibly loose. Like, the parts are incredibly, how do I put this, wiggly. Obviously that's if it doesn't have a level chip on it. Which, as I just found out while doing some research earlier, level chips are banned in tournaments. So without a level chip, there's really no point in using Bloody Longinus. I'm sure there's some good combo for it, but I just wouldn't bother. But the bay has really good attack, gets a lot of speed, and the layer is very heavy. Plus, you can't discount the fact that it's left spin. But again, it's poor stamina, and the fact that you can't use a level chip in tournaments, and without a level chip it's just way too wiggly to use, puts it at number 8. Number 7. At number 7, I have Winning Valkyrie 12 Volcanic. So, there are a few cons that I forgot to put on the list for this. One of them being the fact that you have to put a frame on this. One, because the disc on a right spin bay will damage layers. And two, you cannot, if you're going to be using this in a tournament, you have to put a frame on it. That's literally the rules. But the bay has really good attack. The bay is very heavy. It gets a lot of speed, which means it can attack even harder. And it's tall. The volcanic driver is actually taller than most drivers. I believe it's about the same height as Tower when it's fully extended. But I could be wrong. It might be taller or shorter. Don't know exactly. But its low stamina and the fact that you have to have a frame on it is kind of what puts it at number 7. Number 6. At number 6, I have Sieg Excalibur 1 Iron. Now, personally, I'm also kind of surprised that I didn't put this higher on the list. It's a very good bay, but I just think that the other 5 above it are better. You may not think the same thing, but again, this list is my opinion. And in my opinion, Sieg Excalibur goes at number 6. The layer has amazing attack power, especially if it hits on the tip of the sword. Its stamina is okay for an attack type, and the layer is heavy, heavier than most god layers. But the one thing that I still find ridiculous is the fact that you can't use this with the digital sword launcher, because the one disc will stick on it. I mean, that is kind of stupid, because the digital sword launcher was practically made to be used with Sieg Excalibur. I mean, what's the point of making a launcher specifically for a bay, and then having it not be able to be used on that bay? Anyway, I digress. But, really, if it weren't for the other bays higher up on the list, in my opinion being better than Sieg Excalibur, it would most certainly be higher. But because of that, it's at number 6. Number 5. At number 5, I have another bay that I recently got. I got it at the exact same time as Bloody Longinus. And again, I wanted to do unboxing, but couldn't. And that bay is Hell Salamander 12 Operate. So basically everything in the pros and cons list for this bay can be summed up to it's good in defense mode and bad in attack mode. It's simple as that. In defense mode, Hell Salamander is amazing. it is a super powerful Bey. To me, it may as well just be a left spin defense type because I almost never use its attack mode. In attack mode, it is impossible to control and has incredibly low stamina. Because in order to switch the driver into attack mode, you actually push the rounded tip off center. So, yeah, it's like super wobbly, a little bouncy, and has really bad stamina. But in defense mode, the tip is on the center. And this thing just makes an amazing left spin defense type. I'm sure you put atomic and a heavier disc on this, and this thing would just be an unstoppable Bey. I'm thinking something like 0 atomic. Yeah, that would probably make this thing very overpowered. Anyway, and I'm sure you can also do some other attack combos with it. I mean, as long as you're not using the operate driver in attack mode, then its attack mode should be fine. But I still think it'd be better in a defense type combo. Just because, well, Bahamut isn't a very good left spin defense type. Hell Salamander would very well fit that role, even though it is technically a balance type. But I love Hell Salamander. It's by far my best Bey, even though I only have 6. It just barely manages to beat my Spriggan Requiem. But because of how bad it is in attack mode, I had to put it at number 5. Number 4. And number 4 is Nightmare Longinus. So, as you see, there are so many pros to this Bey, I had to reduce the font size. I didn't realize that having such a large amount of pros would do to me with this new style. It wasn't a problem in the old style, because all the pros were listed on the opposite, pros and cons were listed on the opposite sides by themselves. Not in this new style. So, yeah, I had to change the font size. So, this thing has amazing attack power, it's a left spin, every time it unclicks, its attacks become stronger, it's very heavy, because every single one of those dragon heads on it is metal, and it can have a frame on it. And there's pretty much, there's literally nothing bad I can say about this. Also, it has life after death, thanks to the destroy driver. And yeah, it's a really good Bey, but I think the 3 before it are just a little bit better. But not by much. This is the point in the list where the strength of the Beys starts to become fairly even. But I went ahead and put this at number 4. Also, just so you know, this is the second Longinus on this list. Longinus is the only one that appears multiple times on this list. Yeah. Number 3. At number 3, I have a fairly recently released Bey that I am planning on getting. Now, I know I've gotten your hopes up before about potential unboxings and haven't come through, but I really am hoping that I can get this, but I can't make any promises. I will let you know if I can get this. And if I can, I will do an unboxing video. But this is all a maybe for now. Anyway, this is Revive Phoenix, 10 friction. It is a very, very powerful Chozetsu Bey. The layer is amazing for defense. By the way, it's a defense type. I was quite shocked at that when the Bey was first leaked. because Phoenix just sounds like it should be a stamina type. Then again, that probably stems from the first Beyblade I ever got was Burn Phoenix from the Metal series, and that was a stamina type, so that's just probably why I feel that Phoenix should be a stamina type. Anyway, even though this isn't a stamina type, it's got really good stamina because it's got a POM tip. If you don't know, POM is short for polyoxymethylene, which is a special type of plastic they use on some Beys that has really low friction. Anyway, the tip has really low friction, and then it also has a rubber ring around it, like unite or merge. So it can also counterattack. Plus, it has a very unique gimmick. It bursts not once, but twice. So after the Bey unclicks once, this red ring around it that kind of looks like wings can be knocked off by the opponent. This does one of two things, or both. This does two things. One, all that attack power that the opponent used to knock that disc off would normally go into causing the Bey to unclick again and become closer to bursting. But because that was transferred into the little disc known as the Revive Armor that got knocked off, Revive Phoenix doesn't unclick again. And two, once the armor is knocked off, it reveals a smoother, more heavily armored part of the layer that's more resistant to attacks. Also, the armor just kind of lays on the stadium and acts as kind of a trap, reducing the stamina of any Bey that hits it. And because of Revive Phoenix's POM tip, stamina isn't that big of a deal. And just like Longinus before it, there is nothing bad I can say about this Bey. Revive Phoenix is just amazing. Number 2. At number 2, I have Drain Fafnir. Drain Fafnir is still amazing. And I'm really curious to see if the new Geist Fafnir if it's going to be better or worse than Drain Fafnir. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But Drain Fafnir 8-0. Yes, we all know the meme by now. Has amazing stamina. It has rubber so it can spin steel, and it's left spin. Simple as that. It's basically the stamina type version of Meteor El Drago. And this thing is amazing at spin stealing. That's pretty much it. It's just an amazing spin stealer. There's not really anything else I can say about it. It's just a really good Bey. Finally, number 1. At number 1, I'm sure most of you have already seen this coming. Spriggan Requiem 0 Zeta. Quick little fact, this is the third time that Spriggan Requiem has appeared at number 1 on any of my lists. It first appeared at number 1 on my top 10 balance types list, then again appeared at number 1 on my top 10 Beyblade Burst Beys list, and is now number 1 on my top 10 best looking Beys. Can you tell by now that I think Spriggan Requiem is powerful? Which, also, I just recently learned that it's banned in tournaments, so that's interesting. But it's dual spin, it has rubber to spin steel, the layer is heavy, and the driver has 3 modes: attack, defense, and stamina. It has the heaviest disc of any numbered disc, at least. And it's got the little metal god chip. Plus, its design is just amazing. I really like the gold axe. I wish the axe was metal, like we all thought it was going to be when Spriggan Requiem was spoiled, or leaked, or whatever you want to say. but it's not. And I also wish that the rubber sticked out a bit more. It definitely doesn't spin steel as well as Drain Fafnir, because again, there's not very much of that rubber sticking out. Most of the rubber is on the top. But it's still an incredibly powerful bay, and definitely deserves its spot at number 1. Well, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and comment what you thought down below. Please, only positive messages or constructive criticism. Also, I'd like to challenge you guys to make your own lists in the comments. I'd love to see who you put at number 1. Anyway, that's all for this video. I will see you guys next time.